Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving deep into LLM agents today.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and we've got this great document from Anthropic to help us out. Building effective agents.
I've heard good things about that one.
It's awesome. It's like they've distilled all the best practices from the teams they've been working with.
Like a cheat sheet for building agents.
Exactly. And that's kind of our mission for this deep dive,
Yeah.
to help you really understand these agents.
Not just what they are.
Right. But when to use them, how to build effective ones, all that good stuff.
There's a lot to cover.
It is. But Anthropic really emphasizes this idea of starting simple.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, they're all about building up strategically. So first things first, we got to define what an agent even is.
Because it does seem like people use it in a lot of different ways.
Totally. Some folks think super intelligent AI taking over the world. Others think more like structured workflows.
It's true. Anthropic actually makes a clear distinction between workflows and agents.
Oh, interesting. What's the difference?
So a workflow is kind of like a set dance routine. Everything's predetermined. LLMs, tools, all orchestrated by code.
So it's predictable, consistent.
Exactly. Perfect for those well-defined tasks. Agents, on the other hand, are more like freestyle rappers.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
They're the LLMs calling the shots, deciding which tools to use, how to use them, dynamically adapting.
So workflows are great for when you need things done by the book.
Yeah.
And agents are better when you need that improvisation. Flexibility at scale.
You got it.
Makes sense. But how do we know when to use which? Like if I can just use a single LLM call with some clever prompting, why even bother with an agent?
That's where that start simple thing comes in.
Right. Don't overcomplicate things.
Anthropic is very clear about this. Agents often have trade-offs. They can be slower or more expensive. So if you can get away with a simple LLM call, maybe some retrieval or in-context learning, stick with that.
Okay, so agents are like our secret weapon. Only break them out when absolutely necessary.
I like that analogy.
So let's say I've done my homework, and I think an agent is the right choice. Are there any frameworks or tools that can help me get started?
Oh, tons. LangGraph from LangChain is getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
And there's Amazon Bedrock's AI agent framework. We're even starting to see visual tools like Rivet and Vellum.
Visual tools, what do you mean?
They use drag and drop interfaces to build those LLM workflows.
Wow, drag and drop for building agents. That's wild.
It is pretty cool. And the goal is to make this whole process more accessible.
I bet. But I sense a but coming.
Of course, there's a but. Frameworks can be incredibly helpful, especially for prototyping. They handle all those nitty-gritty details, calling LLMs, defining tools, chaining calls together.
That does sound pretty useful.
It is. But, and this is a big but, they also introduce layers of abstraction. So sometimes it's like using a fancy calculator without understanding the math underneath.
You're saying we risk falling into that black box trap. We might be able to build something that works, but if it breaks, we're kind of stuck.
Exactly. Debugging can become a nightmare. Plus, frameworks can tempt you to over-engineer solutions, when a simpler approach would work just as well. So my advice, start with the LLM APIs directly.
Really? Just go straight to the source.
Yeah. You'd be surprised what you can do with just a few lines of code. And even if you do use a framework, really try to understand what's happening under the hood. Don't blindly trust that black box.
All right, solid advice. Now let's talk about those building blocks. Anthropic mentions augmented LLMs. What exactly does that mean?
It's basically giving your LLM superpowers.
Okay, listening.
You start with the same powerful language model, but then you enhance it with tools and capabilities like retrieval, external tools, even memory.
So it's not just having these features, it's about the LLM actively using them.
Exactly. Like it can generate its own search queries, pick the right tool for the job, remember information from past interactions. It becomes a much more dynamic problem solver.
So we're giving the LLM a toolkit and the knowledge to use it effectively. But with great power comes great responsibility, right? Yeah. Got to make sure it uses those tools wisely.
You got it. And Anthropic is very clear about tailoring these augmentations to your specific use case.
Okay, so don't just give the LLM access to everything under the sun.
Oh.
Think critically about what it needs to be effective.
Exactly.
All right, so we've got our augmented LLM, our foundation. Now what? How do we actually build an agent on top of that?
That's where the workflows come in. Think of them as different recipes for orchestrating your augmented LLM. Different ways to tackle a variety of tasks.
Okay, hit me with the first recipe. What's on the menu?
First up, we have prompt chaining.
Prompt chaining.
Yeah, imagine breaking a complex task into smaller, more manageable steps.
Okay, so bite-sized pieces.
Right. With prompt chaining, each LLM call processes the output of the previous one, creating this like chain reaction. You can even add checks along the way to make sure everything's on track.
So instead of giving the LLM one massive task, we're feeding it one piece at a time, making sure it doesn't stumble. What kind of tasks does this work well for?
It's perfect for anything that naturally breaks down into those subtasks, like generating marketing copy. You could have one step that generates the initial text,
Okay.
another that refines it based on specific keywords, and then a final step to translate it into different languages.
I see. So each step builds on the last one,
Right.
leading to a more polished final output.
Exactly.
Makes sense. It's like an assembly line, but for language and ideas.
I like that.
So prompt chaining. What else is in our agent cookbook?
Next up is routing.
Routing, like with a map?
Kind of. Think of it as a triage system for your LLM. You classify the incoming input and then direct it to the most appropriate path or specialized task.
Okay, so it's like having a receptionist for our LLM system,
Yeah.
directing queries to the right department.
Exactly. Imagine a customer service system powered by an LLM. With routing, you can identify the type of request. Is it a general question, a billing issue, a technical problem? And then you route it accordingly, maybe to a specialized process, maybe even a different LLM fine-tuned for that specific task.
That's clever. So we're not just using one LLM for everything. We're creating a team of specialized LLMs,
Yeah.
each with its own expertise.
Exactly. And that can be huge for efficiency and cost effectiveness.
Yeah.
You could use a smaller, faster LLM for simple, common questions and reserve your more powerful LLMs for those complex queries.
All right, prompt chaining, routing. What other workflows are we working with here?
Well, how about parallelization?
Parallelization.
Yep, here we're letting multiple LLMs tackle different parts of a problem all at the same time.
Ah, the power of teamwork.
Right. And there are two main ways to do this: sectioning and voting. With sectioning, you're breaking a task into independent chunks, things that can be processed concurrently.
Got it. So sectioning is all about breaking things down and delegating. What about voting?
Voting is about getting multiple perspectives. You run the same task through different LLMs or with different prompts, and then combine their outputs in some way.
So it's like having a panel of experts weigh in on an issue.
Exactly.
When would we choose parallelization over the other workflows?
It's great when speed is key, or when you need diverse viewpoints. Like, imagine you're building a content moderation system. You could have one LLM checking for offensive language, another checking for spam, all happening in parallel, way more efficient than one LLM trying to juggle both.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So we've got prompt chaining, routing, and parallelization. What other agent workflows are hiding up Anthropic's sleeve?
They also talk about this orchestrator workers setup.
Orchestrator workers.
Yeah, basically you have a central LLM acting as like a project manager.
Okay.
It figures out how to break down a complex task
Uh,
and then delegates those subtasks to other worker LLMs.
so it's like a conductor leading an orchestra.
Exactly, making sure everything's in harmony. And what sets this apart from just parallelization is that flexibility.
Okay, how so?
Well, with orchestrator workers, the subtasks aren't predefined.
Oh, I see.
The orchestrator LLM decides what needs to be done on the fly.
Based on the input.
Right, like a master chef in the kitchen,
I like that.
adjusting the menu based on what ingredients they have and what the customer ordered.
So when would we choose this kind of workflow?
It's great for tasks where you can't predict the steps beforehand, like complex coding projects.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The orchestrator LLM could analyze the requirements, figure out which files to modify, and then delegate those modifications to worker LLMs.
So it's not just breaking down tasks, it's about intelligent delegation.
Exactly.
What other examples are there?
Think research. A complex research project where you're pulling from multiple sources.
Yeah.
The orchestrator LLM could break down the research question, assign different searches to worker LLMs, and then synthesize their findings into a summary.
Wow, these are getting pretty sophisticated.
They are.
What else is there?
Get ready for the evaluator optimizer workflow.
Evaluator optimizer. What's that one all about?
This one's all about refinement. Like, you've got two LLMs working in tandem.
Yeah.
One generates an output, and the other acts as a critic.
So like a writer and an editor.
Exactly. Back and forth, pushing each other to do better work. The generator creates a draft, and the evaluator critiques it, suggests revisions.
And this can happen multiple times.
Yeah, it can go through multiple rounds until it hits that desired quality level.
It's like this feedback loop where each LLM is helping the other improve.
Exactly.
When would we want to use this?
It's really effective when you have clear evaluation criteria and when that iterative refinement makes a big difference. Like, think about tasks where you'd give a human a lot of feedback.
Okay.
If an LLM can provide that same level of insightful feedback, this might be the way to go.
So what kind of tasks are we talking about here?
Literary translation.
Oh, yeah, you can see that.
The initial translation might be decent,
Yeah.
but an evaluator LLM could point out nuances that were missed, leading to a much better final product.
Like a team of expert translators working together.
Right. Or think complex search tasks, where you need to go through rounds of searching and refining to find the best info.
So the evaluator LLM could analyze the initial search results and figure out if more searching is needed.
Exactly, to make sure you're not missing anything crucial.
Okay, so we've covered workflows, and it seems like now it's time to talk about those truly autonomous agents.
The ones that can operate independently?
Yeah, are we there yet?
You bet. We're getting into the really exciting stuff now. But before we jump into autonomous agents, let's just take a moment to recap what we've learned about workflows.
So workflows are like the ingredients, and autonomous agents are the gourmet meal.
Exactly. Now, these autonomous agents, these are the systems that really capture the imagination.
Okay, what makes them so different from the workflows?
It's all about the level of independence. With workflows, we're still giving the LLM instructions a recipe to follow, but with autonomous agents, we give them a goal and let them figure out how to get there on their own. They plan their own actions, make decisions based on real-time information, even interact with the world around them.
It's like the difference between giving someone turn-by-turn directions versus just telling them the destination and letting them navigate.
Perfect analogy. And just like with navigation, environmental feedback is crucial for autonomous agents.
They need to be able to see where they are.
Right. To make adjustments based on real-world data, potentially even come back to the user for guidance. Anthropic calls this ground truth, and it's essential for keeping the agent on track.
Ground truth makes sense. It's like giving the agent a compass and a map.
Exactly. But of course, this level of autonomy does come with risks.
Yeah, like what if it makes a bad decision? Goes rogue.
That's a valid concern, and Anthropic definitely acknowledges those risks. They point out the potential for higher costs and the possibility of compounding errors.
So we need to be extra careful with these.
Absolutely. Thorough testing in sandboxed environments is crucial.
Like letting a self-driving car practice in a virtual world before hitting the real streets?
Precisely. But when done right, the potential benefits are huge.
Okay, so what are some examples of these autonomous agents in action? What are they actually doing?
Anthropic shares some really interesting examples from their own research. One is a coding agent designed to handle complex programming tasks.
Like what kinds of tasks?
Things that involve modifying multiple files based on a natural language description.
So it's like an AI pair programmer.
Exactly. And another example is their computer use reference implementation.
Computer use.
Yeah, basically they've got their LLM Claude interacting with a computer to accomplish tasks.
Using like a web browser or something.
Yeah, things like a web browser, a code editor, a terminal. It can actually execute commands.
Wow, that's next level.
It is. And this highlights the importance of clear tools and documentation.
To help the agent navigate its digital environment.
Right. If you want your autonomous agent to succeed, you need to give it the right resources.
It sounds like a delicate balance.
It is. We want to give them enough freedom to be effective, but also ensure they're safe and reliable.
So what else do we need to know about building these agents?
Well, Anthropic makes it clear that these building blocks aren't meant to be rigid rules.
Okay.
They're more like flexible patterns that developers can adapt and combine.
So it's about understanding the principles and getting creative with how we apply them.
Exactly. And that's where their three core principles come in: simplicity, transparency, and a carefully crafted agent-computer interface.
Okay, let's break those down. What do they mean by simplicity?
It's all about avoiding unnecessary complexity. Start with the simplest design possible and only add complexity when you absolutely have to.
Because the more complex it is, the harder it is to build and maintain.
Exactly.
And transparency, why is that so important?
Well, if we're handing over more control to these AI agents, we need to be able to understand how they're making decisions.
To build trust and make sure they're aligned with our values.
Precisely. And one way to achieve that is by showing the agent's planning steps.
So we can see its thought process.
Right. That helps us understand how it arrived at a decision, which is crucial for debugging, improving performance, and building trust.
Okay, simplicity, transparency check. Now, what about this agent-computer interface?
It's all about treating the tools that your agent uses with the same care you would give any human-computer interface.
Okay, so make it intuitive, easy to use.
Exactly. Just like you would for a website or app.
Yeah, we want users to understand how to interact with the system.
Right. And the same goes for your LLM agent. You need to design its tools in a way that it can easily use and understand.
So it's like writing a user manual for our LLM.
Exactly. And Anthropic gives some good tips for this. First, put yourself in the model's shoes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Ask yourself, is it obvious how to use this tool based on the description I've provided?
We often forget that LLMs might need more explicit guidance.
Right. And just like you provide documentation and examples for a human, you should do the same for your LLM.
So clear documentation and examples check. What
Okay.
else?
Testing and iteration are crucial. Run examples, see how the model interacts with your tools, and don't be afraid to tweak things.
It's an ongoing process of improvement.
Exactly. And lastly, Anthropic talks about poka-yoking your tools.
Koki-yoking.
What's that? It's a Japanese term that means mistake-proofing. Basically designing your tools to make it really hard for the LLM to make mistakes.
Oh, like child-proof caps on medicine bottles.
Precisely.
Clever. So anticipate potential problems and design accordingly.
Exactly. Now, with all that said, it's important to remember that success isn't about building the most complex system imaginable.
It's about building the right system.
Exactly.
Start simple, optimize, and only add complexity when it's truly justified.
Right. And remember, frameworks can be helpful for getting started, but don't be afraid to peel back those layers and work with the basics.
Solid advice. There's been a fascinating deep dive into LLM agents. What final thoughts would you leave our listeners with?
This field is evolving so rapidly, and it has immense potential, but it's crucial to approach it with caution and thoughtful design. These agents are powerful tools, and it's our responsibility to ensure they're used for good.
To consider the potential consequences.
Exactly.
Speaking of real-world applications, one area where these agents seem perfect is customer support.
It does seem like a natural fit.
It's already conversational, but it often requires digging up information and taking action.
Things LLMs are getting really good at.
Did Anthropic talk about this use case?
They did. They see it as like a perfect example for these open-ended agents.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Customer support, it's naturally conversational, but it often requires access to data and the ability to, take action.
And LLMs are great at both of those things.
Exactly. They can handle both sides of that coin.
So the agent could be chatting with a customer, figuring out their issue,
Right.
and then seamlessly access tools to pull up order history or, check the knowledge base.
Or even issue a refund.
Exactly.
And some companies are already doing this with usage-based pricing.
Really?
Yeah, they're so confident that their LM agent can solve the problem they only charge when it does.
Wow, that's putting a lot of faith in your AI.
It is. It shows how much potential they see in this technology.
It really does. So customer support's one area. What about coding?
Coding.
Yeah, I know LLMs are getting good at generating snippets,
Right.
but can they really handle those complex coding tasks?
They absolutely can. Remember those autonomous coding agents we talked about?
The ones that can modify multiple files?
Exactly. They're designed to tackle those real-world coding challenges.
So they understand requirements, plan solutions, even interact with dev tools.
You got it. And one thing that makes them really effective is the verifiability.
You can actually test if the code works.
Exactly. Run automated tests, and the agent can even use those test results as feedback.
It's like having a built-in QA system.
Right. And Anthropic actually highlighted their success on the SWE Bench Verified Benchmark.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
It's a collection of real-world coding tasks from GitHub, and their agents were able to solve those tasks just from the pull request description.
So just from the description, they could write the code.
Yep. It shows how well they can understand complex requirements.
That's really impressive. But does that mean these coding agents are ready to replace human programmers?
Not quite. Automated testing is great for verifying functionality,
Yeah.
but human review is still crucial, especially for things like making sure the code aligns with broader requirements, coding standards, best practices.
So it's more about augmenting programmers than replacing them.
Exactly. They can help with tedious tasks, explore solutions, even teach new techniques.
But we still need that human expertise.
For sure.
It seems like with any powerful tech, it's about finding the right balance.
Well said. And as we go deeper into this world of LLM agents, it's important to remember that we're not just building systems, we're shaping the future.
The future of how humans and AI collaborate.
Exactly.
Well, this has been an incredible journey.
It has.
So many insights into this fascinating world of LLM agent.
I know, right?
A huge thank you to Anthropic for this document.
And to you for guiding us through it.
And to our listeners, we hope this has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to explore the world of LLM agents. Until next time, keep diving deep and never stop learning.